Well, Myrtle has a famous name. My mother's name, Myrtle. That's who she was named after. We had many good times on Reynolds at the house. Always something. On every Sunday we go there. Uncle John would drive me home. We had to go by bus there, and then he would drive us home every Sunday night. He wouldn't let us take the bus and go back. One time, Myrtle, I stopped over to Myrtle's house, and I said, Myrtle, how are we related to Paul Kitts? He says, we're not related. We're just good friends. And she would always bring that story up. She really enjoyed that. And, when Jimmy was in the service, his wife came on my route. And I would deliver the mail, and she didn't know who I was. So one day I stopped there and with a letter from Jimmy and said, we're going to start something new at the post office. We're going to read your letters to you. Oh, no, you don't. You can't do that. Then I told her who I was. We had a lot of good times. Myrtle, I would stop by Myrtle's house there and visit her. And she'd always say, I'm going to come over to your place. She never did. But I would always go over there and see how she was doing. The last couple of years, I couldn't make it because of my situation with my health. So my mother and Myrtle's mother were sisters. And I think Rose was the maid of honor at my dad's wedding, my mother's dad's wedding. And that was a long time ago. Thank you.
Thank you. So I am Jenny, Myrtle's granddaughter, and I can honestly say that Myrtle was many more times a grandmother than my real grandma most of the time. She was just so interactive, and I loved listening to all the stories that people shared because I was part of them, like whether I was there with you or not, because I would hear all the great stories or she did them with us. I don't know how many games we played at her house at that table. I learned all those different kind of board games, and Grandma, I joke about it now, we do some professional speaking, and I remember Grandma would not even let you win. She didn't care how old you were. When you learned how to play the game, you played the game and she played to win. And so I remember thinking at 10 years old, well, Grandma will let me win. Oh, no. There's no way. Grandma Culver's going to let you win. She always played by the rules, but we learned so many games, and that was just super fun. And then growing up, she was always very interactive, and so she always let us, as sisters, help in the kitchen. And so we did a lot of that chopping and all the meticulous things, and one of my favorite things I remember making was her fried zucchini discs. And just so many other things, her macaroni and cheese and her fondues, and we just experienced so many things at Myrtle's house that we never had anywhere else. But we had so much freedom. She let us have the upstairs room, and my sister and I would literally tear up the place for a week at a time, and we could do whatever we wanted up there. She would never come up and check on us, but we were always very good. She took us to so many places. I remember going to Canada and playing in the lake there. With you, Charlene and Donnie, doing that. I remember that were the biggest horse flies ever. And I remember me, Becky, and Donnie were hanging on to this giant inner tube that we had, like with only like about this much of our mouth hanging out because the flies were so bad. But for some reason, we would not get out of the water. But they were literally attacking us. They were all over the tube, and it was just zaniness. And we went to Burrow Farms. We went to Pizza and Pipes. Grandma was crazy. If she had something at 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, all right, let's go to Meijer. And we just get in the car, and that Nova, I loved the Nova. Loved the Nova. Oh, I love that thing. because it kind of had it had a little wag, and she would go down Sherman, and she'd make sure she didn't even gun it before you hit the bump, so that we all popped up. That was always great. And then I had the little Smokey the Bandit, little Smokey forest fire thing on the dash, and the push-button radio, but you never needed the radio with Grandma. Because you were always singing or telling stories, and she was doing something. So she just, when she passed, even though it was truly sad, I just had so many great memories of Grandma that it was hard to really cry, except I won't have any more. She was just a dear. I want to miss her awfully, and I wish that my kids would have a chance to get to know her and have the experiences that some of your kids were. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm just glad that she touched as many lives as she did. And I feel like I know half of you because I heard so many of the stories that she shared. I'm so glad that she got to touch all your lives as much as she touched ours. We had a wonderful time spending weeks with her at a time. And I remember thinking, who does this? Who just takes these two girls? And every day it was something. We always had something to do with Grandma. She was always into activities. It was just an absolute blast. And I always thought it was weird because she'd always get up so late. She always go to bed so late. You just don't meet people like that. I just thought this was a wacky thing. My sister and I get up, we're like, guess we're fixing ourselves breakfast, Grandma's still in bed, and it was just so different from the other side of our family because everyone that side was early risers. So being at Grandma's house just taught us a lot about love, about family, about friends, about truly just being yourself and loving you for who you're at, because that was what Grandma was all about. She just loved you no matter what. And just wanted to be the best friend that she could ever be to anybody. So I'm so happy you all are here today to honor her and celebrate her and have this memorial. And thank you all of you that took the courage to come up here and share, because I know it's not easy. But for her, I think we would do anything, right? It's what we owe her for all the fun times that we've had with her in our lives. So I don't know if you want to share or you want to...
I'll share.
Okay.
So I'm the sister in the story. I'm Rebecca, or as Grandma usually called me, Jebeki, because it was Bajeni and Jebeki. Should I kind of mix our names up, and that's still a joke with my daughter. Grandma Cover, I like to think of her as the quintessential grandma. Short, round, loved to have food, loved to cook, loved to have family, friends, everybody was welcome. I have so many memories of her kitchen, even before the kitchen was extended. The sort of original kitchen of all the different meals and grandparents and aunts and uncles and the cousins. And the beautiful thing about Grandma Cover or Myrtle, or however you know her, is that we were all family, and it didn't matter if we were blood related or if we were friends or how it was. I mean, Aunt Charlene was always my Aunt Charlene, and Cousin Donnie's still my Cousin Donnie, and that's how he's listed in my phone, and he will be forever. And it's never occurred to me to think of Grandma Cover as anything other than my grandma, and I grew up with her. And the memories, I mean, so many of what Jenny already shared. She was a mentor to me in many ways, and Allie and I, my daughter, already had this trip planned to come to Michigan. We live in Seattle and have for a couple decades, and so I kept, calling Grandma and sending her cards and telling her that we were on our way, and I just so wanted to see her again and give her another hug. And in some ways, I think maybe it is what God wanted, because now, of course, the memories that are in my heart, and when I see Grandma, I don't see her as she was recently. I see Myrtle as probably just younger and more vivacious, and doing fondue and singing songs and playing board games and kicking our butts in Yahtzee. Like, try to be Grandma in Yahtzee. Good luck. What's that? Or spoons, or many other games. She taught me about family, which was really why I'm back here in Wyandotte for a couple weeks, is to have my daughter get to be here with her aunt and her nana and all the family, and just reconnect. And so I do feel like I'm here with Grandma. She's always in my heart. I'm not sure that I'm even ready to refer to her in the past tense, because she's so alive here in the room with us all today. And one of the ways that I have always honored Grandma is she had the best songs. And I'm sure most of us who were very young when we met Myrtle remember all those songs. I mean, I found a Peanut and the treehouse, the cellar door. I mean, she just loved to sing songs. And so when I had my girl, I sang so many of those songs to her, and that's how she would go to bed at night. One particular song I sang to her since she was an infant, and honestly, sometimes when she can't get to sleep, it's a song that I still sing to her, and I passed on to other friends. And so please forgive our, we don't have voices like that, but our hearts mean it just as well. So Jenny and I think Allie might want to join us, we'd like to sing a song to you that I'm sure many of you remember, and is a song that we hold in our hearts.
So yes, God did not grace us with voices.
No.
But
No, we didn't. Fashion,
doesn't
perhaps.
matter. Voices, no. So here it is. Oh,
What do I want to do with this?
Mark's taken.
I know, she wants her own.
I don't know how to do it.
You go on.
Excuse me. Give it to someone younger.
Give it to somebody under 40.
The technologically challenged corner of a couple
That's
over
part of
here.
it.
All set? Okay.
Everybody ready? Okay. You do, okay. A, you're adorable. B, you're so beautiful. C, you're the cutie full of charms. D, you're a darling. E, you're exciting. F, you're a feather in my arms. G, you're so good to me. H, you're so heavenly. I, you're the one that I idolize. J, we're like Jack and Jill. K, you're so kissable. L, you're the love light in my eyes. M, N, O, P, I could go on all day. Q, R, S, T, alphabetically speaking, you're okay. U, make my life complete. V, means you're very sweet. W, X, Y, Z. It's fun to wander through the alphabet with you and tell you what you mean to me. Aww.